So many of us, maybe even you, swear by a sound machine to get a good night's rest. But what if I told you that that very thing you think is helping you sleep might actually be wrecking it?
Yeah, let's just dive right in. Is your trusty sound machine, that gentle rain or that soft static, secretly stealing your sleep?
And this isn't some niche thing. Just look at this number. 3 million hours, according to a report from Bloomberg. That's how much time people spend listening to white noise and ambient sounds on Spotify every single day. We are talking about a massive number of people plugging in to tune out.
Which brings us to what I'm calling the soothing sleep myth. You know the deal, right? A sound machine has become this non-negotiable part of our bedtime routine. But, well, some new science is starting to poke some pretty big holes in that idea. And look, on the surface, the whole idea makes total sense. You play some broadband sound like pink noise, and it's supposed to drown out all those annoying distractions. You know, the car alarm down the street, your partner snoring, and just lull you into a deep sleep. But is that really what's happening? Let's find out. Okay, so let's put on our lab coats and head inside the sleep lab. We're going to dig into a really serious study from the University of Pennsylvania that put these sleep aids under the microscope. And what they found, well, it's pretty fascinating. So the scientists in this study focused specifically on what's called pink noise. Now, you've probably heard of white noise, that kind of sharp shh sound. Pink noise is different. It's deeper, softer. Think more like a steady, gentle rain or a constant wind. It's the one most people find really soothing.
And let me tell you, they didn't mess around with this study. They hooked people up to the whole shebang, EEG brain recordings, the works, and tested them under 5 different scenarios. You had a totally quiet night, then a night with annoying traffic sounds, then a night with just the pink noise. And here's where it gets interesting. They also tested traffic sounds with pink noise and traffic sounds with just a simple pair of earplugs. They covered all the bases.
So after all that, what did they find? This brings us to the really juicy part, the surprising results. And I'm telling you, this is going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about your sound machine. All right, you ready for this? The first bombshell. When people slept with just constant pink noise, no other distractions, they lost almost 19 minutes of REM sleep. Now, that's not just some random number. REM is where you dream, where you process memories and emotions. So you're taking a huge hit to a really, really important part of your sleep. Okay, so what about just the traffic noise? Unsurprisingly, it was terrible for sleep. It robbed people of about 23 minutes of deep sleep. That's the N3 stage. This is the good stuff, where your body physically repairs itself. So yeah, no shocker here. Loud, annoying noises are bad. But here's the million-dollar question. Did adding the pink noise help block out the traffic? The big answer? A huge no. In fact, it made things worse. When they played both sounds together, people not only got less deep and REM sleep, they also spent an extra 15 minutes just awake. The thing that was supposed to help actually hurt. Just take a look at this chart from the study. It really lays it all out. See all those red arrows? Each one points to a significant, measurable worsening of sleep. It's pretty clear, right? Adding almost any kind of noise just caused major problems across the board. So, in this battle for better sleep, who came out on top? Well, the sound machine was a total bust. It stole REM sleep and made other noises even more disruptive. The surprise champion? A cheap, simple pair of foam earplugs. They protected both deep and REM sleep and helped people stay asleep. Sometimes the simplest solution really is the best. Okay, this is all pretty wild, and it leaves us with a huge question. Why? How can a sound that feels so calming actually be messing with our sleep so much? Well, that's what we're diving into next. Why your brain just can't rest. It all comes down to this really fundamental idea. Your brain never truly turns off its microphone. Even when you're completely knocked out, a part of your brain is still on high alert, listening for anything that might be a threat. It's always on surveillance duty. Scientists have this great way of explaining it called the Thalamic Gate. Picture a gatekeeper in your brain. For you to get that deep, refreshing sleep, that gatekeeper needs to close the gate and block out all the sensory noise from the outside world. But when there's a constant sound, even a nice one, like pink noise, it's like someone is constantly knocking. The gatekeeper can't fully shut the gate. Your brain is forced to keep processing that sound, causing these tiny little wake-ups or micro-arousals that you don't even notice, but they add up and they totally shred the quality of your sleep. So, if we're supposed to ditch our sound machines, what are we supposed to do instead? That's what we're covering in our final section.
some smarter, science-backed ways to get some real rest.
And this part is really, really important, especially if you have kids. The lead author of the study, Dr. Matthias Basner, flat out says that playing pink noise could actually be harmful. He's especially concerned about children because their brains are still developing, and they spend way more time in that critical REM sleep stage. That makes them extra vulnerable to this kind of disruption.
So, what's the game plan? The science points to a few simple things. First, get back to basics with good sleep hygiene. A regular bedtime, watching the caffeine, keeping the room dark. Second, think noise reduction, not noise masking. So grab some earplugs or hang up thicker curtains. And hey, if you just can't quit your sound machine, at least be super careful with the volume. Because it seems like the best sound for sleep might actually be no sound at all.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about tonight. We've spent all this time and money adding noise to our bedrooms, trying to engineer the perfect sleep environment. But maybe, just maybe, what our brains have been craving all along is simple, true silence.